Devil!
Your fire signs worry too much. So much for my solo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 16 of Kiss Meets the Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I'm Brandon.
And it's just me and Brandon this week. Chad had some things going on, so he's not joining us. He'll be back next week. We did have another guest scheduled, but unfortunately that guest fell through as well. So we went to our trusty list of topic ideas and picked out another one for this episode. So, did you pick up anything new this week?
Got the new, I don't have it down here, but got the new issue of Classic Rock Magazine.
Is that the one with Gene on it?
No, it's I think the 100 best albums of the 80s or something.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking it's like a German magazine that recently came out and it has Gene on the cover. I forget what it's called though. I think Kiss Online showed it, but I'd like to find that. It's probably wouldn't be able to read it, but it'd be cool to see what pictures are in it.
Was that this month?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't picked up anything new either. Next Sunday's that record show. I think we're both going to, so hoping to find some more stuff there, especially on the Kiss side. Been going through some of those cassettes that I picked up last week that I showed. The one that had the Wicked Lester stuff and then the Gene interview from 75. The interview was really cool. Ended up being from Cleveland. Was done in a hotel room prior to the show. And it runs for about a good close to a half hour. And I just happened to be, I went on YouTube and searched for it real quick and didn't see any videos within the first page, so apparently it's not on YouTube, so I went ahead and copied it to the computer and put a little video together, and I'm going to get that on YouTube, or it probably is on YouTube by the time this airs. So definitely check it out if you run across it. It was a really interesting interview, and definitely the old Gene, he kind of sounds like the way he did when he was on the Mike Douglas show with his speech, and it's nice hearing that and not hearing how he is today, just all that business and that ego type talk that he, just that tone that he always has now. It's like I miss that old stuff. But yeah, so
Like Paul says something about, he says we're not big time wrestling. He said that to him in the past. We're showing how the big boys do it. And he goes, it's not a competition.
Yeah, they're not big time wrestling, but yet they were involved with wrestling.
They were, yeah.
And then you can kind of argue back and forth that the stuff they use on stage is like pyro and stuff is similar to what wrestling does, or you could say wrestling bit off of them a little bit. I don't know, but it kind of goes both ways. But nothing really going on again this week. The other day would have been Mark St. John's 61st birthday. Rest in peace, Mark. So everyone go check out the Heavens on Fire video. That's about the only footage I have of Mark with the band, I believe. And there's really not any audio either out there.
Which is crazy to think.
Yeah, there has.
I don't know. What, was he in the band less than a year, or was it about that?
I don't even know if it was a year. It might have only been like 6 months, or I don't know the exact dates right now. I'd have to look it up, but I want to say there was one audio that came out, and it's pretty bad quality on top of that, but it's the only one I knew of that was out there, and I want to say it was on YouTube somewhere.
Because the dates they did with him, wasn't that in Europe somewhere?
Yeah, I want to say it was Brisbane, England, is where that particular show was. Something.
Was several shows where him and Bruce were both at the same. Bruce was off stage or Mark was off stage, and all that.
Yeah, I think that started up whenever he started really having those problems with his wrist and whatever else was going on. Again, I'm not sure on dates, but that's when that mostly started up, and eventually Bruce just stayed in full time, obviously. So, and then he was with them 12 years, something like that.
The longest of the '80s.
Yeah, longest of the '80s, probably the longest of any guitar player in Kiss, really.
Possibly. I don't know. Let's see. What's it been at? Has it been? I don't know how many years since Tommy's been in the band. What was that? 2003, 2004.
2003 or four. So, actually, I guess Tommy's the longest tenured guitar player now at this point. Eric being the longest tenured drummer, I believe.
Yeah.
Because 91 to 95, 96. And then,
He was out for about a year, wasn't he?
well, until like one. It was kind of forth, and officially was right around the same time, like 2003. It was right before Tommy came in.
When he was out of Kiss, when they got Peter back for that short time,
Mm-hmm.
did he go and play drums for Alice Cooper again, or what was he doing? I don't remember hearing about
I
that.
believe he was playing with Alice again, or even no, it wasn't Black Sabbath, but I'm pretty sure it was Alice. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there was a concert that actually it aired on TV, and I remember it was back around that time frame, and I'm pretty sure he was on there, and he had his hair. I'm pretty sure his hair was cut short, still blonde, but it was cut short. That's kind of how I'm remembering. I could be wrong, but probably find that on YouTube somewhere. Or,
We're never wrong.
yeah, we're never wrong. This is all 100% fact. So again, Mark St. John would have been 61 the other day. Another little kind of fun anniversary was the anniversary of the Playboy issue with Kiss on it. That was released back in '99.
I have that. I should have
Yeah,
got.
I was thinking the same thing. I have it, and
Yeah.
all my Playboys are up in the attic now. So
Yeah, I don't know where mine is. I think mine's upstairs.
I think I put it with them. I might have put it in my Kiss box. I don't know, but yeah, we both have it. Pages are all stuck together, but not because of Kiss. But don't get any.
As long as it wasn't
Funny
like
ideas.
that, got it.
Yeah.
Custom.
Oh, God. So, yeah, that's really all that's going on this week. And so the topic we're going to get into is going to be involving cover songs that were done by Kiss. And, who did the original version, which version we like better. What are we even going to touch on, like, cover songs we'd like to hear them do, or...
Yeah, I'd like to make up my own album. I mean, we haven't pre-planned all this, but I
Yeah.
could come up with something
Yeah,
just
yeah.
in discussion, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so let's waste no time.
We're going chronological, or
Um,
you have them in chronological order?
well, the reference I'm using here, they're not in chronological order, but
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
yeah. And actually, there's more that this doesn't list, but we'll be able to bring them up. So the first one I have on this, "Then She Kissed Me," which of course was on Love Gun, last track of the album, and the song originally done by the Crystals back in 1963. And I gotta say I like the original better, except I do like the solo that they added to Kiss's version. I do like that part. It's kind of catchy. But I think I'm going to have to stick with the original.
See, I like Kiss's version better just because I like Paul's vocals so much on it. I think that, and this was probably totally Paul's idea to do the song.
Probably.
I'm sure no one else had any input on it. And I've never heard a demo version of it. I'm sure there is one somewhere.
Maybe. or it may have been like a one take song. You know,
It
it's
could,
it's a
yeah.
fairly easy song. So,
Right. But yeah, the solo definitely enhanced the song.
oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I
I
th-
mean,
I
out of
s-
all the songs on the album, it's actually one of my favorites on that album. But I like every song, because as a whole album, we've discussed that before. As
yeah.
far as Love Gun being like one of my favorite Kiss albums.
Well, so much for saying we're always right, people. So that's out the window. I still think management probably had a little part to do with that. You
It's
know,
possible, yeah.
again, trying to touch on that whole kissing theme. You know, there wasn't too many other songs out at the time that had kissing in it, so they pretty much covered them both with those
Right.
albums and moved on from there. So jumping to three, this is actually on the Ramones tribute album. Do you
Okay.
remember Rock and Roll Radio?
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Awesome, awesome
Yeah, I
track.
think they did a great job on that song.
I think I definitely like Kiss's version better. You know,
Yeah, I like Kiss's version better. The only part about the Ramones version is I like the radio intro where it has the
yeah,
radio changing the dial.
yeah,
Other than that, I like Kiss's version better.
I agree. And I made a CD with all the cover songs. Like I put the cover song or the original first, and then Kiss's version.
Cool. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, recently went through and listened to all these, so kind of still fresh on that a little bit.
I wish they
um,
had made a video for that. That would have been really cool.
they don't, do they?
Not to my knowledge. Unless
Yeah,
there's a fan made one. I never looked it up.
there might be. Yeah, but
Sometimes the fan made videos are cool.
yeah, definitely.
There's
I
a Black Sabbath War Pigs. I think it's a fan made video. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think I
I
have.
ran across it recently, and it's like just you can just type that in; it'll probably come up in the search. It's a really awesome video. It looks like a fan made video to me.
Huh. I have to look that up. The next one that's on this list, it's kind of like I guess it's kind of a cover, but at the same time, it's kind of not. She, um,
Right?
obviously Wicked Lester did it first, and it is a very different version from what Wicked Lester did. Um, Obviously, I like the version on Dress to Kill better, the way they, heavied it up. But
Yeah.
but the Wicked Lester version isn't bad either. I mean, depending on
Well,
which
had
take you're
double
listening
plat,
to. What's
which
that?
I think the double platinum version has got a little extra at the end. I think, or
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's the version that I heard first. Was that one? But then years and years later, when the box set came out, I heard the Wicked Lester one.
right. And now we know that
It's
there's like what 3 versions of it.
right.
So again, I like it. Just listened to the Wicked Lester album earlier today again, and definitely got to go with the Dress to Kill version. One step further would probably be the version that's on Alive, because Ace's guitar solo, that
Right.
one of the iconic solos. And
I like the bass breakdown in the middle there.
yes, love that beat, the
Turn that up
bass.
on your stereo in your car.
Hmm.
Like that's. I wish that was even longer of an extended version than it
Oh,
is.
I know, and kind of like the break and Let Me Go Rock and Roll too, like that little
Right.
break they had with the bass. And
You could take all of Gene's like little snippets like that and put it into one big bass solo. Like edit it together.
exactly, that would
That'd
be
be
cool.
cool.
Yes, and the guitar solo that Ace does on She on Alive, you can pretty much sing that because it's just that
Right.
melodic. And not to mention, he got he kind of bit off of 5 to 1 by the Doors for the solo in the song. And then, of course, later on in the 90s, Pearl Jam not stole, but they used basically the same riff that Ace played in their song Alive. Because
That's cool.
Mike McCready's a huge Kiss fan too, so.
Right. Yeah, I knew that. Now I'm going to have to go listen to that to try to compare it because I'd never realized that before.
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. So next, going back to 1991, coming off the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and also Revenge. God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too, which the original version was by Argent. Her most well-known song is Hold Your Head Up. This God Gave Rock and Roll to You was done in '73. Um, Kiss definitely changed it up a lot. They added a lot of different lyrics to it. They made it their own. I think that's basically why they call it God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too, because it's basically the sequel to their song. I think in a way it's a cover, but in a way it's not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, the first time I heard this song was, believe it or not, the band Petra had covered it.
I never heard that version.
Yeah, back in 70 something, they covered it on, I think, their album Washes Whiter Than, I think's the album it's on. And theirs has like it's a track on the album, and then at the very end of the album there's a reprise where they go back into it and play it on the outro. So that's the first version I heard. It goes on and on and on and on.
Wow.
It's a real long version.
See, now I need to look that up.
Yeah. So then I heard Kiss's version, and I thought, well, I know this song. How do I know this song? And I was referring to the Petra one. It's like, then I realized who the original artist was. I don't know. I looked in the liner notes or something, and then I went back and listened to Argent's version. I really don't care for the song at all, no matter who does it.
Right.
It's not really one of my favorite songs. I mean, the fact that Kiss did it made me like it a lot more. And the fact that they changed the lyrics to be more of what they believe and how their philosophy is, it makes me like the song more.
Exactly.
But as far as when they were doing it in concert, which was, I guess, the Revenge tour, right around in there.
Yeah, and they did it again on Rock the Nation and stuff like that. But
I just don't care for the song. I mean, the part I do like on the home videos where they go into the Star Spangled Banner right after that, I think that enhances the song a lot, even though it's not technically the same song.
Definitely. And now they just play God Gave, after the show's over, they just play it over the PA. Right. So
and I like that better.
Yeah, I think that's a better effect.
Right.
I agree. I like basically the way Kiss, added their own stuff to kind of put their own message in it. I like the lyric. I'm pretty positive this is in the original too, but man, you got a sweater, you won't get far. It's never too late to work 9 to 5. It's, perfect. It's saying, go out and follow your dreams, work hard, or otherwise just settle for a job you're not happy with and doing the 9 to 5 grind. And
well, I guess
I totally agree with that. But
someone had asked in an interview, I think it was Paul that answered, why they changed the lyrics or if the lyrics were different, and he said something about he didn't want to leave the lyrics in there from the original, like stepping on snails and stuff like that, which was one of the original lyrics, I guess, in the Argent version. Something about that.
Yeah, because you got to make it, fit their style. Some of that stuff, but yeah,
I just why they chose that song, if that was truly their idea, which it probably was at that point.
Yeah.
If it was like one of their favorite songs, but it's like, we really love this song, but let's change all the lyrics,
Right. And of course, this was Eric Carr's last appearance in a music video. He wasn't going to take no for an answer. He wanted to be in that video, and he did a hell of a job for as sick as he was at the time.
Wasn't he wearing a wig in that video too?
Yeah.
Because he had been through his chemotherapy.
Yep. And then his last official appearance in person was at an award show with him.
I think it was the MTV Awards, wasn't it? Where he was a presenter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as far as the song, honestly, I'm kind of like 50-50. I don't really like one version more than the other. It's just kind of, they're both the same. Like, they're a good song. It's a good song, but I don't see myself listening to it a lot. And
I have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah. And when I am listening to it, it's not one that really kind of gets you pumped up. It's just, I always just find myself listening to the lyrics again because, like I say, I like a lot of the lines that they put in there. But so pretty even on that one, I
Well,
think.
if you want to jump into a song, and you can tell me if this is on your list or not.
Okay.
Um, this is sort of like a reverse cover song. It's song for another group. Windio covered it. It was on the box set. You know what song I'm talking about?
It's my life. Yeah.
To me, that song is more. That song gets you pumped up, like you say, more than God Gave Rock and Roll to You, because and
Definitely.
why wasn't it on a Kiss album? It should have been on Psycho Circus.
Definitely. And
It's an awesome Kiss song.
if you listen to that version that's on the box set that Kiss did, you could tell they did that during the Psycho Circus sessions.
Right.
So it has that same sound. And I think, again, I think they were trying to play it off like, oh, it's from '83, when we originally did it. No,
Right.
you could definitely tell it's not because Gene's vocals. But yeah, so It's My Life. I actually just listened to Wendy's version of that today again. Pulled out the record and angry kids and I love Kiss's version. I agree it should have officially been on an album.
Yeah.
They should almost I don't know, like I don't want to say re-record it again if they do a new album and put it on that album, but maybe they just need to put out a collection of like the official unreleased. I don't know. That doesn't make sense because it's on the box set, so that was officially released technically.
Well, I remember I heard the Wendio Williams version first, or was it the Plasmatics, or was it Wendio Williams?
It was Wendio Williams, and then
Wendio
it was pretty much Kiss late on the whole album.
Yeah.
Give and take here and there.
When I heard it on the box set, I'm thinking, how do I know this song? I know this song. It's because I was familiar with her version, and then I realized, what I was listening to and why. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. But yeah, that's awesome because I think even Ace does a verse in that.
Yeah, and
And
that's like one of the first times that, as far as I know, that Gene and Ace traded off vocals, and
that's one reason why it should have been on Psycho Circus right there.
Yeah, right. And because Ace had a big part in Wendy's album anyway, so I think that's one reason that they were kind of the two main vocalists in that song. But I think the Kiss version was the first one I heard, honestly, and it was when the box set came out. And again, I liked it because it was up tempo. It kind of had that anthemic message and that kind of stuff. And it's my life. Do what I want to do. It's like
That's sort of the theme of Psycho Circus. It was sort of like that's when they sort of started doing those types of songs more.
yes.
I mean, they've always sort of had those anthem type songs, but I think this whole Psycho Circus was like almost a whole album of that. Believe in yourself and all this kind of stuff, which is fine. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but it seems like that if you notice from that point on, a lot of their albums lyrics were like that.
I love We Are One, and I respect I finally found my way, but not. I almost feel like they should have cut one of those songs and put It's My Life on instead, but
Well,
I'm sure Peter was throwing a fit.
oh yeah,
That's probably why that song was on there.
Probably.
He had to have one. Next up is Hide Your Heart off of Hot in the Shade. Originally done by Bonnie Tyler from Total Eclipse of the Heart fame. Didn't even know that was a cover song until not that long ago. And,
no, the only thing I'd ever heard about it was Ace did it right after Kiss had released it, or was it right at the same time or right after? I don't remember.
It was like right after. So he did it on that Trouble Walking album.
Right. But yeah, I didn't know it was a cover version.
And the Bonnie Tyler version was hard to track down. I think I finally ran across it on YouTube and, had to try a couple videos before I found one that was good enough quality. And that's how I ended up getting it.
You have a copy of that CD? You'll have to copy that for me.
Yeah, it ended up being 2 discs, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I definitely like Kiss's version better when it comes to Hide Your Heart.
Is the lyrics the same?
Pretty much. They're pretty spot on. Obviously the way Paul sings it though, with the high, when he gets those high notes, Johnny better run, like those notes, man, that's when he was pretty pen.
Right. I really like that song a lot.
Oh yeah, I do too. And,
I think it's an underrated Kiss song.
I was glad they added it to some of the recent tours too. It was good to see them pull that out.
Mhm.
It's a good sing along. With the it's a good sing along. And I think it went over pretty
Ace's
well.
version is, what's that?
I think it went over pretty well.
I think it was a surprise.
Yeah, Ace's version. What was you
Well,
saying?
it just doesn't have the punch.
Yeah, I
But,
totally
but I
agree.
was also familiar with the Kiss version first, so maybe that.
Exactly. I mean, I don't even like to listen to Ace's version that often. I listen to, Trouble Walking or uh, what the hell else was on that album? But
Do you?
do you? I listen to, but probably Trouble Walking. I
Which is a
listen to
cover
more.
song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we could do a whole episode on Ace
Yeah.
cover songs,
Right. Yeah.
especially a
Well,
whole album that he just did.
I'd heard that. Who was it? There was another cover version of "Hide Your Heart" that was out right before that, or something to the effect of, you might have heard the story where the reason that Ace ended up covering it and Kiss ended up covering it around the same time, and there was another band that covered it around the same time, because the something about the rights or who wrote it or something wasn't cleared up. Or did you hear something about that? I don't know the details.
I want to say it's familiar. Um,
There was something weird about that song.
yeah, like something like it was like not officially known. Like I don't think the official audio's out there, or
There was
it
something
was that song or another song. But I remember hearing something similar to that recently. I just can't
because
pinpoint.
it's almost like that. And I don't know if I believe this 100%, but it was sort of like that Ace didn't know Kiss was doing it. Kiss didn't know Ace was doing it. It's like,
I find that hard to believe. Just like
yeah,
him releasing Anomaly within what, a week of Sonic Boom.
right.
Like, come on, he was just trying to compete, and
They have inside sources. They keep track of that stuff.
it
They
goes
think that
back.
they don't.
It goes back to the solo album thing where they were bickering over who's sold the most, and Gene says that his did, and it's just kind of that whole thing again. Like, okay, whose version of Hide Your Heart's gonna do better on the charts, or which album's gonna sell more, within
And
a
it
week.
might have been had something to do with them, because Ace's album sold good. It had a single, that was a fairly decent hit.
Yeah, it was the best selling one.
Maybe they, Gene and Paul, or maybe just Gene. It's like, okay, well, we'll show you this time around,
Right.
I
I think
But I
that's
don't
what they
think
did.
Hide Your Heart really did that well, like, because it was the first single off of the album, right?
Yes, it was.
And I don't think
Or
it did as well as they wanted it to, or as it could have.
was that
So I
first
think
or Forever?
I think Forever was the second single. I'm not
Okay,
positive.
I
I
think
thought it
so
was Hide
too.
Your Heart, Forever, and then Rise to It.
Rise to it. Oh God, that horrible video.
Yeah, that's.
What were they thinking with that makeup idea? That was stupid.
I don't know. Did we get to that video in our discussion? We never actually done videos yet.
No, we haven't, and
We'll have to
I
do
didn't think to mention it when we were talking about whatever
Right.
video that was on. But
We'll
yeah,
have to do a music video episode.
yeah, we'll definitely have to do that because that one was just. I mean, I don't mind the rest of it, but the part that they decided to do with the makeup stuff, it's like, why? What were you thinking? But Jesus. So, next up is a really good one, 2000 Man off of Dynasty, of course, and originally done by the Rolling Stones off of, what is it, In Their Satanic Majesty's Request, I believe is
Yes.
what. Honestly, I hadn't heard the Rolling Stones version in years. Like, I had never heard it. And I just finally heard it for the first time probably within a year. And I ended up picking up that album, played it recently too, heard it again. I like the original version. It's not
It's
as
different.
it's not as different as, well, it's different, but not as, like, as far as like the lyrics, it's not as far off I like the beginning of it, how it's just that little acoustic, the riff, and it's kind of, I like
I
it,
bought
but
the album because I found out that was on there. That's why I originally bought the album.
right, and of course Ace's version on Dynasty, love it. Um, I always thought it was a song he wrote because of the line, my name is a number, it's on a piece of plastic film,
Mhm.
meaning a playing card, Ace. But
Yeah, the whole lyrics is like perfect for him.
oh yeah, definitely.
And for years, I didn't know it was a cover song because I hadn't heard that song either
Yeah.
for years and years. I bought the CD. Do you have it on vinyl? The Rolling Stones one?
Yes. And
Does it have like the hologram on it?
yeah, actually, I think it's
I'd like to get a copy of that on vinyl.
I actually got it right here.
I've seen them at record shows, but never been able to get one. Yeah.
Listened to it recently and haven't put it away yet. But yeah, pretty good
It's an
album.
unusual album. I think they were trying to be Sergeant Pepper on that one.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's what
Huh?
they're. And that was the first time I even heard that album in whole. So,
What do you think about it?
it's not bad. I liked it. It's
Yeah.
it goes by quick. It's listenable. Of course. What the hell is it? She's a Rainbow. That's a great song.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a standout track.
Yeah, but those are about the only two tracks that really stood out to me. But I mean, it is a good album. It's very listenable. And what was we saying? Oh, so the version. I mean, I even like the version that they did on Unplugged when they
Yeah.
first brought Ace and Peter out, and that was the first song they
Yeah,
kicked
when
into.
Ace goes into the solo, and especially the last break solo before the song ends, the crowd is going crazy on that.
Yeah,
And it's just,
and
I can watch that today and still feel the same way as I watched it the first time.
that stuff isn't easy to play on an acoustic guitar. Doing
No.
those solos like that. Bruce pulled it off too. But man, yeah, Ace just nailed it.
Mhm.
And so, again, I think, man, I think I'm 50-50 on this one too, because I do like the Stones version a lot more than I thought I would.
I think I like the Kiss version just because I'm so familiar with that,
Hmm.
and it's hard for me to. It's almost like the Rolling Stones is the cover version
I
Yeah.
agree. I
but
agree.
because I've heard the Kiss version since '79.
Right. And, I thought the Rolling Stones version was going to be horrible. I figured it was going to be completely different. But like I say, it hits me a different way than what the Kiss version hits. So I think I got to be 50-50 on that one too. So again, this is another one that came from Wicked Lester, Love Her All I Can, on the same album, of course, Dressed to Kill. Um, there's a version by Wicked Lester that I like more than the Kiss version. Um, because I know there's like two or three different versions by Wicked Lester too, but it's not the one where it just starts into the song. It's the one that kind of starts out with the little guitar, dee dee.
Is that the
Uh,
one on the box set?
I
The
think
one
it
that,
is. Yeah, I think I like that version better, honestly. It just has a little more to it, I guess. Um, Now again with the Kiss version, again the solos that were added, by Ace definitely makes the song. Um, most, probably the most memorable part of that song for me.
yeah, yeah. I
And
like the when they did it on the Rock the Nation.
that's what I was
I
going to bring
think,
up when they played
yeah, I
it.
think that was a good version.
Yeah. And that was, what? Was that the first time they played it live? Or it had been.
The first time that I'm aware of.
Because I don't think they played it back in the, on the Dress to Kill or a live tour or anything.
I don't think so.
But yeah, that almost, I kind of wish they did back then, to be on a live. But it was between that and Let Me Know, I guess. Or not Let Me Know. What am I thinking?
from Dress to Kill, an album on Dress.
On a live. Is Let Me
Oh,
Know?
on live.
I was thinking Let Me Know was on there for some reason. But it's not. What did you say? Which version you like better? I don't remember.
I like the Kiss version just for the solos. It's more of a little bit more got a rock edge to it, I think.
Yeah. I think all these are going to be Kiss for you.
Seems like it doesn't.
So far, right? Next one. This is a pretty recent. 2014. It was on the Art of McCartney tribute album, Venus and Mars Rock Show. And this was really just Paul and Gene, even though it's labeled as Kiss. I like it. When Paul sings, Gene sings the beginning part with Venus and Mars. I don't like his vocals on it. They sound too nasally, and it's like sitting in the arena. It's like every time I hear that, I'm just kind of like, why didn't he re-record that? But
Was he trying to be a Beatle?
basically, it was him trying to be.
I haven't actually heard it, so
Check it out. That part's a little rough to hear, but when it kicks in and Paul sings, it's cool. But I gotta go with the original. Wings, Paul McCartney. I mean, one of the best songwriters ever. That version definitely, his version stands out. The original, mainly because of the Venus and Mars part. He sings it the way it should have been sung.
Which Eric it was in the band sounds the most like Peter?
I don't think either of them sound like Peter, to be
Really,
honest.
I think they both sort of do, but the majority of their voice doesn't.
I just honestly don't either of them sound like Peter. I think Eric Carr sounded more like Paul at times. If you've heard his audition where he was doing Shandy, he was matching him up at times.
And I wonder, how come that version exists? I was curious about that. Where it sounds like he's just singing over the song.
Well, that's what it is. It was just his audition. Just kind of, showing how he could sing. Because I'm sure back then it wasn't as easy to get like a, instrumental version to sing on. Or
I'm surprised that actually does exist, like in that form, like that.
Because he did that, and then he did just kind of like a demo of him playing drums, playing different beats and songs and stuff like that.
Just wonder if they had everyone that auditioned do that song like that.
They probably did. And
it seems odd to me.
But I thought he sounded a lot like Paul at times. Eric Singer, I feel like he just has his own voice. Like I don't feel like he sounds like Peter or any of them. And when he sings Beth, he's got his own sound to it, and I like it.
Eric Carr, they never did Beth live when he was in the band, right? But he did it on the album Smashes and Thrashes.
Right. So it's kind of weird that there's 3 recorded versions of Beth with all 3 drummers. Because didn't Eric do it on when they did that re-record album?
I don't think Beth is on there, but I'm not positive.
Let's see.
I know that he's done it live several different times, so on a couple different tours. It's usually the same tour that Tommy does Shock Me, he does Beth, I've noticed.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I don't know if that's a coincidence or what. Probably not a coincidence.
Probably
I don't think Beth is on the Greatest Hits re-recorded. I don't know what that's called.
I can't even find it now. I thought I had it.
It's called. Is it called Kissology?
No, it's like some weird. It's like a Japanese name.
I have it right here on my iPod. Let me see if I can find it. I actually listen to that quite a bit. I like to hear the different versions of it.
Right.
And when I listen to it, it's like That's not the way that's supposed to sound. Why did they start it like that? Why did they end it like that?
You know, I swore I had that, but now I don't. Probably because I didn't like it that much.
Well, I just wonder. I would love to have been in the studio watching them go over that because they had to listen to the songs first
Oh, for sure.
and try to match as they could. And I wonder how hard that was for them to do that.
Right.
And what they had to do. Well, on my iPod here, it's just called Best with the semicolons, and it says Kissology. That's odd. And there's 15 songs.
So I know they re-released it at least once or twice because that it came with Sonic Boom.
No, Beth is not on here.
Huh.
Because I know it was released in Japan under a different name first.
Well,
like
I
a
mean,
few years earlier.
because I mean, at least it's been done live. There's live recordings of Eric Singer singing it, and so I mean, there are technically 3 recorded versions.
Well, when we seen them on the Freedom to Rock tour,
Yeah.
I loved that version because it was the electric. They were playing.
Right,
Tommy
right.
was playing electric guitar.
Yeah, it was
So-
cool how that.
Yeah, I really, really like that version.
And I like how Eric sings it. I have no problem with it.
No, it's fine. I think, like you said, he has his own voice, and I think he sort of added his own little. I mean, he's not trying to be Peter on it.
No, he's not. He's just doing his own thing. It's more like honoring the song. It's respectful, I think, but I know Peter looks at it the other way, and a lot of other people do too. But I don't have a problem with it.
Because the fact that it was on a Kiss album, makes it okay to do as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
If it had been on a Peter Criss solo album and nothing else, that'd be different.
Exactly. Yeah. Different story, but
I mean, if Tommy Thayer is going to do Rock Soldiers on a Kiss tour, that's totally out.
yeah,
But that's the case.
that would be drawing the line. But then they bicker about who even wrote Freaking Beth because Peter says he did, then Paul says that he didn't, that it was the other guy that he wrote it with, and
Right.
just all this.
And then they also say that Kiss had to rewrite it because it sounded too folky. And the if you've heard the demo, I mean, the demo is quite a lot of Peter's demos were like folky sounding,
well,
which is not a bad thing. But
the version he did with Chelsea, Beck, I like that version.
I like that version a lot.
And I like the acoustic version they did for Beth on Kiss Meets the Phantom.
Yes, that one's a really good one.
Yeah. I'd like to get an official release of that to have a better quality than what's out there.
Right.
All right, so moving on. Any Way You Want It by the Dave Clark 5. This, of course, was on side 4 of Alive 2. I like it, I get it, but it's kind of like, why?
Right.
Everything down to the end. The ending has got that whole Beatles feel to it. That dun 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 dun. Yeah, the Beatles did that a lot.
I just think they could have picked a better song to put on Alive 4 because all the other songs on there is like 10 steps higher than that song to me. I listened to it, when I was younger. I didn't think anything about it, but to look back at it now, I'm thinking there could have been another song that was a lot better for that.
Yeah, because it kind of sort of brings it down, especially for being the last song on the album after, all them songs, Rocket Ride and all that stuff, and then that comes on. It's kind of like, really? You guys couldn't have just wrote one more song to put on there, or, out of all them demos they had at the time?
Yeah, because could you know some of the demos that were around at that time that was for that session, or?
I mean, you would have had stuff from like the Love Gun, like Mad Dog.
That would have been better. They could just put that on there.
What is it? Rock and Rolls Royce or whatever that is.
Oh yeah,
stuff, stuff like that. Like
yeah,
a lot of demos that were out around that time. Why didn't they just do one of those? But
Or even an instrumental would have been fine.
yeah, another
They
instrumental.
could have just jammed something. Bob
Again,
Kulick was there. They could have jammed with Bob Kulick, and here's a song, man.
Again, if I'm listening to the whole album, I have no problem listening to it, but it's definitely not a sit down and feel like listening to. That's for sure.
Not really. I mean, I don't even like the original of that song.
Yeah, the original's kind of boring too.
Yeah.
There's much better songs by the Dave Clark Five than that.
Right. My favorite song from them is probably Because.
Oh yeah,
That's a good song.
mine's probably
Off the top of
Over
my
and
head.
Over.
Over and over.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of good songs, but that's not one of their better ones.
I was looking real quick at some of the demos around that time. Like, Gene had a few. One called Forever. Love Came to Me. Peter had that Love Bite. Let's see.
Yeah, they could have put a Peter song on there.
Yeah. Love
That
is
would make
Blind.
more sense.
Yeah, it would have since, Ace had a song.
And Ace would probably had another song if he had been in the right state of mind where he wanted to
True.
contribute.
True.
And instead of that song, there might have been another Ace song after Rocket Ride.
Right.
I mean, what Ace demos were they at the time? It's hard telling because that was that 78 for Live 2, so this was after his solo album, right?
77.
Was it 77? So whatever didn't end up on the solo album could have been a demo for this.
Because
Or
then,
vice versa.
it was double platinum than the solo albums.
Yeah, so I mean, or anything that ended up on maybe the first Freely's Comet album, that could have been a demo that never made it.
But at the same time, they come back out with Dynasty, and he had, 2-3 songs on there.
Yeah. Unmasked, he had a lot.
Unmasked. And one or two on Elder?
Dark Light, and
Was that it?
I think that was it.
I think he had quite a few demos around for the Elder, but that's the only one they used. On the
It's
things,
unfortunate.
yeah, that was one of the things that was the final straw.
Right.
Let's see.
It's funny because the documentary where he talks about that, he says, yeah, I took the CD and smashed the wall on him. CDs didn't exist in 1982.
The way he remembers things, I guess. Let's see.
Or I guess it'd been 81, probably.
Yeah.
Either.
Don't Run. That was Dark Light, the original.
And I like the original, too.
Too.
Because it's got extra lyrics with it. Different lyrics and extra verses. It's really cool. I think Ace was really good at rhyming, taking a lot of words and rhyming them to where they made sense, because it seems like a lot of songs, they use the same words over and over
Right.
that rhyme. And he always takes 6 or 8 songs, 6 or 8 words.
There's a lot of just little things that are the reason I like Ace with his playing, like especially on the Elder and some of them demos and Dynasty. It kind of starts there, but just the way he plays and just some of them little, slight, like scratches on the strings and the way he does, just those little things I love too.
There's a solo on the Elder, and I don't remember which song it is. And it's like one of the best solos. He just that is almost like, I don't know if it's Dark Light. It might be Dark Light, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just I just love that album. So you can get me started on that.
Right. Exactly. All right. So next is Thief in the Night from Crazy Nights. Also originally done by Wendy O. Williams
I did not know that.
in 1984. I want to say even the same album.
Wow.
Is it the same album? Wait, let me look. Yes, it is off the same album as It's My
Wow.
Life.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Does it sound like the same song?
Um, much. These versions probably a little heavier.
I never cared for that song much on Crazy Nights. It's just one of those throwaway songs.
Right. Now, just looking at the album, Gene produced it. Um, where the hell is it at? Oh, Ace Frehley plays lead on Bump and Grind. Paul Stanley plays on Ready to Rock. Eric Carr plays drums on Legends Never Die.
Wow.
So, I mean, like I say, it's pretty much Kiss just all over that album. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't think the one, it's either right before that one or right after that one of hers. That's on my wish list.
Definitely. It's a great album.
And there's another one she did right after that. I think she hosted Headball around the same time. And like a green screen behind her, and there was like maggots crawling on the screen.
Yep.
And it was for that tour, that album she was promoting at the time. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know the name of the album, but
yeah, I don't remember it either, but I could see it, but I just can't think of the name. But yeah, Thief in the Night. I probably have to go with Wendy's version. I'm not a big fan of the Kiss version.
I haven't heard Wendy's version. I would probably go with that one if and when I heard it.
All right, the one here, the first one they did, Kissin' Time. We've talked about that a lot.
I hear that all the time at work. We have XM on the 50s thing.
Oh yeah.
And that song comes on all the time. Of course, every time I hear it, it's like you automatically hear the Kiss version. I'm
sure you like that. You start jucking and jiving. And
that's about as close as I'm going to get to hearing Kiss on the radio at work.
Of all songs, that has to be.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a goofy song. The version is a lot better. Lyrics. The lyric, remember, the original is not what the Kiss one is.
Now, this one is pretty much another redo. Rock and Roll Hell. The original version done by Bachman Turner Overdrive in '79. Yeah.
The lyrics are different for that too.
Yeah, the lyrics,
different.
Everything, music's different.
Why is that? How does that happen? Maybe that's the song I was thinking about.
I think it's just a case of either the artist saying, "Oh, I can do that song better justice."
Whose was recorded first? Was it the BTO?
Yeah, they did it in 79. And then...
So, I wonder if, like, Kiss says, okay, well, I'll BTO do it completely at all, and someone tune up this song, redo it, it'll be a good song. How does that idea come up?
I think they knew what they were doing, just like God Gave Rock and Roll. They probably said the same thing, like, hey, good song, let's redo it and make it better.
That's funny. I would, if it was me, and this is just my opinion, if someone's already wrote a song and recorded it, I would feel really bad about trying to get to redo it and just change. Okay, I love the song. We're going to change everything about it.
Yeah.
I would feel really bad about doing that.
I mean, if they got
if it did turn out better.
I mean, if they got the consent from the original artist, then that's fine. But if they just did it as almost like in the face, I
think they would probably almost have to get permission to,
right?
Depending on who owned it, but they'd still have to get permission.
Exactly. All right, so one here, originally by Gerard McMahon, Is That You? Which of course is on Unmasked. I like both versions. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I do too. The original version has that glam rock sound to it. It's I like it, and I love Kiss's version. I didn't know that was a cover until a couple months ago. So I always just knew the Kiss version, and it was cool to hear that and how it is different, but I still like it. It
And the
didn't
fact that it's
lose.
on Unmasked is sort of a surprise
Right,
because
right.
all the songs on there, I was under the impression for years and years that it was all Kiss songs, that they wrote
Exactly,
everything.
exactly. Is That You could have easily been on Dynasty. It kind of has that same sound and vibe that a lot of them songs had.
Mhm.
And so, again, 50-50 on that. Uh, Another one is New York Groove, which was originally done by Hello. Again, I didn't know this until recently. I think you're the one that mentioned that
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. And that one's quite different because it has like a harmonica. Is that a
Yeah,
harmonica in the song?
and I do,
It's
and
yeah, I like it.
and that,
Misses version better. And I'll tell
oh
you the one
yeah,
I like
oh yeah,
better is when they do on the Dynasty, the Largo show,
oh
where
yeah,
he has the solo in it,
yes, yeah.
and
The solo
they're
he
saying
added,
like Times Square and
yeah,
you know
and he's like laughing.
Second Street and and all that stuff. That's like the best version.
Yep, when he's laughing and stuff while he's saying that. And, I like the original too. I like during the course I'm back in New York, and then there's that groove, that little deep
You
thing.
seen the performance video that they did on? I think it was a English show called. I want to say it wasn't Showdown. It was something like that. There's a lot of bands on there, and they had like this big, gigantic fan in the middle of the stage, and it was blowing confetti up and snowing down like it was a snowstorm while they were doing the song. You have to look that up. It's pretty humorous.
It was Kiss or
No, it was Hello.
oh, Hello. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll have to look that up. That's interesting.
and I just
See,
wonder if Kiss got the idea from that.
see, that's the next step. I need to look and see if there's video versions of a lot of these, like
Right.
original songs, and because I know there really isn't when it comes to
Because
the
it
Kiss
was on
version.
the first time I seen it, it was on a Glam compilation. There was like 3 volumes of it, and it went in chronological order. You had like Gary Glitter on it and The Sweet, and then it eventually went into like Doctor and the Medics and Twisted Sister and Zig Zig Sputnik and all that. But Hello was on there, and that's where I seen that clip. It's like,
Hmm.
wow, that's really unusual.
Yeah, like I had never knew that all these years too, and to think that Ace had a hit single with that, and hey, I like both of them though.
Yeah, it just
Definitely,
seems like an Ace song.
yeah, it fits him perfectly. Um, I like both versions, but Ace's definitely is more of the favorite.
And then when they did that live under the Brooklyn Bridge too,
Yeah, that was perfect
yeah,
because right there in the heart of New York, and that light up guitar he would always use for it.
I would love to have seen him do a video for that song back in '78
Oh,
or
I
'70.
know.
Because the storyline of the lyrics, you just picture what the video. You see him back in riding in a
Yeah,
limousine, going through New York, and it's like that had been such a great video.
this might get a little off subject, but I've always wondered that, like, why didn't each member film at least one video for one of the songs on the
Right,
album to help
that
promote
would have been
more?
great.
I mean, because I can imagine a video for Radioactive and
Well, they were
uh,
doing videos at that point,
exactly, but
so
like, why didn't they do any videos for? I would have thought that would have helped with the promotion,
they
but
didn't even really have anything on Love Gun either,
no,
and they were
no,
doing stuff for Rock and Roll Over.
yeah, that's
And
true.
then even as far back as with Dress to Kill with Rock and Roll Night and Come On and Love Me was promos.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
they
it's
didn't even
just
do every album. I don't know how that works exactly. It's like, okay, well, this album we're going to make these promos, and then the next album's like wasn't in the conversation.
it might have to do with the sales. If the album wasn't selling too good, then they probably said, "Hey, we need to film a couple promo clips and help, try to drive the sale." I don't know, but it's just one of them things I've always kind of wondered, like
Well,
why.
other than Radioactive, what would have been some other good videos? I think any song from Paul Stanley's album would have been a great video.
Um,
But I'm partial to that album more so.
I'm thinking like it's all right, or even "Tonight You Belong to Me."
I like
And
Love in Chains. I think that'd be a really good one. I
you
could
know,
see him with some girls in that video.
"Hold Me, Touch Me."
Right.
"Move On." I've always liked "Move On." I like
Yeah,
the version they did on that Largo show.
that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah,
That's my favorite version of that too. And he forgets a lyric on that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And he's looking like, oh God, what's the lyric? And then he just picks it up when he gets to the chorus. Like I bet
Yeah,
he thought,
perfect.
oh my God,
Didn't miss a beat.
yeah, that version's great.
But and then as far as like Peter, probably "Don't You Let Me Down" or
Tossing and turning or something.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. But
You can
then
see him like rolling around in the bed with his cat makeup on. He can't get no sleep. He has to get up and drink some milk. That'd be great.
saucer of milk. Oh shit!
That'd be good.
And then with Aces, there's like so many like
Ozone would be a good one.
yeah, and Rip It
That's like
Out.
a totally psychedelic one.
Snowblind would be a cool
Yeah,
one.
Rip It Out. It's a good one. Speeding
Speeding
Back
Back,
Might
yeah,
be great. See him driving his car, and you'd have to have the makeup on,
yeah.
and it's like, what kind of car? It'd be like what would it be? Not a DeLorean. He had that later. What? I wonder what he drove in the '70s.
I picture it being like a red, I don't know, like a Porsche or some sort of,
One of those sports cars.
with the
Oh,
something like.
Jaguar.
I think
In
he
his
did.
book, he had a Jaguar.
Yeah. Even Fracture Mirror would be cool, being that that's a instrumental.
They
Yep.
could have each done a video for that, and they could each done like an intro, a video intro describing this song as such and such and so and so.
Right.
They could have put that together on I don't know what would it have existed on back then. People didn't have access to, VHS didn't exist, so
I'm not sure. Probably just
it would have been on Kissology if it had existed at all.
probably 16 millimeter, and then it would have got converted.
It'd been on Don Kirshner's rock concert or something.
Right. But yeah, with Fracture Mirror, I could just, obviously some shots of Ace playing it, but then I just picture it having a lot of just sort of trippy animation going on because Ace is real good with all that computer animation. Well, nowadays, not back then, but he was actually I was reading that Rolling Stone interview, and he had mentioned that he was going to work on making like a video version for the whole Space Invader album.
That'd be cool.
Like he was going to come up with different, computer art, for each song and put a version out like that. But he didn't do that, of course. But it was a cool idea. I'd like to see something like that happen. And all right, so next up here is "King of the Nighttime World" by Kim Fowley and the Hollywood Stars.
Yeah.
Again, didn't know this was a cover until recently. You told me about this one too, and
That's a really good version, I think, too, of that song.
and this one really caught me off guard because I always thought that this was a Kiss song for sure. All
Yeah,
these
and
years.
even in that, what's the documentary, Beyond the Makeup or one of those,
Mhm.
even Gene, he goes, yeah, we're the kings of the nighttime world.
Right.
It's like, it's funny because for years I didn't know either that it wasn't a Kiss song. It's like, it's so perfect.
Yeah, that one like really caught me off guard when I found that out, and it was almost like I didn't want to believe it. But the original is good, But the Kiss version, that's always been
Oh, yeah.
the version. I mean,
It's hard to improve on that version.
I love the solo, the harmonic solos in there. I love the bass line. When the second verse kicks in, that
I
bass
think
line
Kiss,
underneath.
I think Kiss likes the live version better because they put that version on the box set.
True.
Right after Detroit Rock City, they went into the live version on there.
Well, speaking of like I was saying with the solos, the Alive 2 version, I kind of like that better because of the guitar tone on there and that.
Yeah, the
dual
guitars
solo.
are more in tune with each other.
Sounds great on there, but I like the album version too, and like I say, the bass line that's like the second verse that he's doing, love that. Nice flow to it. So, Definitely love the Kiss version a lot better, even though the other one's not bad. And I think that brings us to the end as far as songs that Kiss covered. Um, we could sort of just kind of go through and mention songs that were covered, Kiss songs that other people covered. Um, 16 covered by Hayseed Dixie and Gin Blossoms, of course.
Well, I have the Hayseed Dixie CD, and at the time, kid, but it's hard for me to listen to a lot of that stuff now.
Mm.
Well, I mean, bluegrass in general. It's not that I dislike it. It's just I haven't got back around to being on that kick yet. So, country in general and bluegrass especially, it's just like,
Yeah, I've never been big on the bluegrass myself, but even if it is like, sort of a comical or that the kind of stuff like they were doing, and there's other stuff like that out there too. It's like, I don't know if I can do it. Let's see.
See, this just proves anyone out there that's not a Kiss fan that everyone is a Kiss fan.
Exactly. All these bands that, a lot of these people that, Kiss sucks and such band is better than them. Well, usually that band has covered a Kiss song at some point because they're influenced by Kiss.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Kiss, there probably wouldn't have been a Van Halen.
Exactly. Definitely wouldn't have been, because Gene wouldn't have been there to discover them. Strange Ways, covered by Megadeth. Hypocrisy.
I'd like to hear the Megadeth.
I haven't.
I didn't
either. Tommy Shaw, Stone Sour. I didn't know Stone Sour did that.
Mm-mm.
Hayseed Dixie did it too. Hard Luck Woman, Garth Brooks, of course. That was a good version.
Yeah, that was decent. I know a cover that we forgot.
What's that?
When Gene Simmons covered "See You in Your Dreams."
Oh yeah.
Which I don't even know what to think about that.
Well, that, and I guess you could technically say "When You Wish Upon a Star."
That's true. Yeah, that's technically a cover.
And even the Star Spangled Banner, I guess.
Right. That's true.
Ooh, I'd like to hear this. Joey Quesada did a cover of Car Jam 81.
Oh, really?
All right, people, I think we're going to wrap this one up this week. Leave us some comments. Let us know what some of your favorite covers by Kiss or cover songs of Kiss are your favorites.
And what would we like to see them do? We didn't do that.
Ah, see, we didn't. We got off subject.
I just now thought of that.
Things that make you go, I can't think of any.
I could do that song. I mean, if Gene can do Firestarter.
Oh my God, you got to remind me of that.
That we didn't think about. Of course, that's solo album stuff, but still.
Oh my God. I never bothered to listen to that album.
I have it, and I've listened to it more than once, not straight through, more than once. And what was he thinking?
I know. When I saw that video, that was enough that I was like, I don't even want to hear the album. Like, if this is that bad, how bad is the rest of it going to be?
Well, see, there's something about stuff that's that ridiculously bad that I'm just really drawn to. I mean, look around me here. So, and then, okay, well, he's a member of Kiss too. How could I say no to that?
Exactly. I mean, there's that part of it, but I got to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And it's funny because he's in a lot of those songs, he's not even singing.
Yeah.
And he's not rapping either. He's just like talking. He's not, it's like, what? I don't understand why you thought this was a good idea.
It's almost like he was trying to get into like kind of a goth sort of like persona outside of the makeup or something. I don't
Some,
know.
and I wonder, okay, for example, if that album had been, say, Firestarter, say that would have been a big hit for him, then what? I mean, what would have happened? Do you think that? Let's see, where was Kiss at this time? What time frame?
What year did that come out?
I'm not real sure.
I see a Panther.
Something?
There's still a Panther behind you.
Yeah, he's trying to get my crackers. No to crackers. No to crackers.
He's like, come on, man.
I don't know what year that came out, but I'd like to have it on vinyl. You can't lay on all this stuff, Cole.
It was released for
2004.
So at that point, what they had just finished Symphony,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe they were on a little bit of downtime, and then after that was what, Rock the Nation,
That sounds about right.
or was it Live 35 first?
I think that was after Rock the Nation because Paul was starting to lose his voice right about then. That was just
okay.
before Sonic Boom.
I'm looking at the track listing for that Gene album because I never knew the other songs. He's got a song called Carnival of Souls. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I just wonder if that had really been like something that was supposed to be on the album.
I don't think I can honestly sit and listen to that whole thing if I even bought it.
Maybe that should be something that you have to do before our next episode.
Oh my God.
It's hard to do. I don't know. I tell you, the only Kiss album that's as bad or worse as the Peter Criss All for One.
Oh my God. See, I'm that way too. Like, I can't stand to listen to pretty much any Peter Criss stuff, solo stuff. Ace, I'm more, attracted to, I guess, musically. The Vinnie Vincent stuff, again.
What about the Paul Live to Win? That's a decent album.
Yeah, see, I never got to hear that yet either, and I know it's just one of them things. I never picked it up, and I'd like to get it eventually. I'd like to get the DVD he put out. It's just one of them things. If it pops in my head one night, I'll order it or something. But as much as people like to trash Gene's '78 solo album, and it's like they seem to be forgetting about that album there because
they've totally forgot about it because
that's definitely a piece of junk.
Yeah, the solo album in '78 is really good. It's always been one of my favorite solo albums.
That thing's a masterpiece compared to that album.
That's true. I was looking this up here on to see how much some of those were on Amazon.
Probably 1 cent.
And they're probably not available on vinyl.
I don't think they've been released on vinyl that I know of.
I don't think vinyl was popular enough, and to this point, that's probably not popular enough to be reissued.
I think Gene himself probably doesn't want that to be reissued.
What was the other one you were just talking about? Not the Peter Criss and the Gene, but what was the other one?
The Vinny or the Ace?
I'm trying to think if it was the.
Or you were talking about Paul Live to Win.
Live to Win, that's what it was. Yeah, because I don't think that was out on vinyl at all either.
I don't think so. I mean, I know there were like certain releases around that time that they would put a vinyl version out just randomly, but not that often.
No, just CD here for that. But the CD is pretty ridiculous. Some of the prices on here are stupid, but there's one on here that's $3. So
I think I'd almost like to get the DVD first before the CD.
yeah, the DVD on here is There's only one listing for that.
I remember at one of the expos a couple years back, they had a table set up basically for Paul, and they were running that DVD the whole time, and they had a couple of his guitars there and stuff. And from
I went to the one where where they showed it.
yeah,
I don't know if that was the same one or not.
that was the year that Gene was there.
Well, I must have went to the one before that because Bruce was at the one I went to.
Well, he was at that one too.
Was
Hmm. And Bob and
he? And Julio.
Tom.
I don't even see a version
Eric Singer was there too.
DVD.
Yeah.
The stream, the DVD you can stream, but I don't know as far as an actual
Yeah.
DVD of it.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Again, leave us some comments down below. Let us know some of your favorite cover songs, some stuff you'd like to hear them do. And Chad will be back with us next week. We're not sure about any guests right now. We don't have any.
Yeah,
Tentatively.
it's up in the air.
Yeah, we may have one, we may not, but we definitely have some other ideas to come up with.
And if you're interested in the Gene solo album, it's $5.65 on Amazon.
Or you could find it at your local bargain bin.
Well, then they also have it listed here. The CD is $56.58, and then there's another one here for $334.55.
It's got to be autographed.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't think there's a name he could write on it.
No.
But yeah, I guess it is what it is.
Yep. All right then. So until next week, remember, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the support, and leave us some comments. We want some feedback. So until next week, see you later.
See ya.